Welcome to another edition of Dianne Andrews in Black and White, an open discussion about the issues you don't want to talk about and the arts you need to know. Now, here's your host, Dianne Andrews.
Welcome to In Black and White. I'm your host, Dianne Andrews. As you know, I like to call it Shining a Light. So today we're going to have maybe a little bit more of a fun session than normally. We're going to do what men really want in love and life. My first guest is going to be Bert Faulk, the managing partner of Faulk & Winkler CPAs. Bert comes to us separately on this show, and then we're going to have a round table of 4 other men who talk about what men really want in love and life. So hopefully I can learn some things that would have maybe stopped me from that second divorce, but let's go on here and see. Hi, Bert, how are you doing?
Fine, Diane.
Tell us a little bit about your journey, Bert, and what you really looked for. I know you've been married to the same woman for how many years now, Bert?
43.
43 years. Next week, I think, Bert, you're going to be 69 years old. The only reason I said that because he told me I could.
That's right. And well, actually, it was July 1st.
July 1st, okay.
July.
So you're 69, and you've had some health challenges that I really want men to concentrate on about getting their PSAs.
Right. I have had prostate cancer. At an early age, I was I won't say fortunate, but my father had prostate cancer. And starting at 29, I started getting annual physicals. Mm-hmm. 2 reasons. Number one was I realized there was a history of prostate cancer in my family. The other one is I figured that if I owned a machine that was providing the livelihood for my family, I would work hard to keep that machine in tune.
That's right.
I was the machine for my family.
You have 4 sons, Bert?
3 sons.
3 sons, no daughters.
No daughters.
And 1 daughter and wife
yeah.
together.
Yeah. Although I now have 3 daughters-in-law and 4 granddaughters in all. But for the longest time, my PSA was a regular 2.5 or so. I actually had my surgery 3 years ago, and 2 years before I had it, my younger brother, by 2 years, was diagnosed with prostate cancer and had his removed. The things that I've learned along the way is that it's important to do 2 things, mm-hmm. and that is to have an annual exam, particularly once you get over 40. Have an annual exam, and they do a rectal exam, and also the PSA.
Mm-hmm. Which is a blood test.
A blood test, that's
blood
right.
Test.
And that it gives you a score. Mine was about 2.85, and then it jumped to 5 rather dramatically. And at that time, I had a...
And that was in less than a year's time, Bert? It jumped?
Yes.
Like that
yes,
quickly?
Yeah. Yes. Now it stayed for 30 years or so mm-hmm. at the 2.85 mm-hmm. or so. So it jumped one year like 2.5 points or so.
Are there any signs with urination?
Absolutely none.
Nothing.
Absolutely none. The point that I would point out to your listeners is that the rectal exam, as long as it's slick, there's no sign mm-hmm. of cancer. The prostate becomes what I call grainy mm-hmm. as the cancer spreads. It spreads from within the prostate to externally. Mm-hmm. So if the doctor can feel feel the roughness, feel a sense of grain on the prostate, it is already
with his hands.
Yes.
Okay.
It has expanded.
Mm-hmm.
In my case, when they did the second biopsy, the doctor told me going in, he said, Bert, it feels the same way. It feels slack. It's slick.
Uh-huh.
And what the story was the cancer was embedded inside my prostate. And as I did more internet research with it, I realized that they grade the seriousness of your cancer with the degree of external coarseness that it has. And there, I forget, there's roughly 9 stages of cancer, and mine was at a very early age. So I went ahead and just elected to have mine removed.
I really thank you for coming on, telling people about what they need to do. And there's one question I'd like for you to tell.
Sure.
If you had any advice to give to women and to men out there, what did you really want in life? Have you achieved that in a relationship and in life?
Well, you know, I think obviously I've been married to the same woman for a long period of time. I can tell you some days are better than others.
Yeah, in life
but,
period.
But we have, you know, we agree on a number of overlapping things, and in some respects we are very different. And I think that you could look and say that opposites attract one another, and that's the way we are.
What about on advice to other people from
well,
what you've learned on the path?
You know, you've got to appreciate a sense of diversity and the fact that other people are different than you are, and you've just got to accept them for the way they are, and sort of at times let things roll off your back that you find objectionable and all.
Did that get easier with age, Bert? Or?
No, I don't think it does. I don't think it does. You know,
I think then we're going to close with this important advice you've given to men out there about getting your PSAs, and have a little patience as you go along the road in a relationship. Thank you very much, Bert, for being here with us. Thank you.
Yeah.
Stay tuned. Dianne Andrews in Black and White. We'll be right back.
I just bought my family a big old show truck.
He bought a big ugly truck.
It's got a quad cab, it's got a Hemi engine.
At least the dealer financed us through eFederal Credit Union.
It's got 390 horses, 407 foot-pounds of torque. It can pull my boat, it can pull my Mardi Gras float.
And with this low-rate credit card, I got to have a little fun myself.
It's got it all.
eFederal has it all.
Who knew?
Welcome back to In Black and White. We got some quite informative information from our last guest, and I hope that men take it, and I hope the women urge them to take that advice. But now we've got another part of the What Men Really Want in Love and Life panel that consists of 4 men. We have a person who is single, who's never been married. We have Byron George. We have Andrew Brandon, who is on his second wife and has children by his first wife. We have Louis Oliver from Puerto Rico, who now lives in America, who has been married to 1 wife and is still married, I think 2 or 3 years, not too long. And then we have Chris Sansbury, who has 4 children and is married to only 1 wife. So we have a cross-section, whether they're married or single. We have different professions, some in sales. You worked as a teacher
School
before
teacher,
at
correct.
Valley Park, the alternative
Right.
school. Well, you could have been on our last show, the bullying show. We
Right,
talked about that
right.
too. And you were a professional, semi-pro baseball player while you came over to America, Louis, and now you have your own barber shop.
Exactly, yes.
And Chris, you are multi-talented. You work in Infinity and Service, and you also have a high school radio talk show, and about to be on television, right?
That's correct, yeah.
Okay, so let's start off with a couple of questions. The color I have on right now today, tell me what black means to you as a man.
Well, personally, black to me is more conservative. It's actually power. A judge, black robe, and I mean just kind of power and conservative. I like blacks. That's my favorite color.
Not anything seductive in your mind. It's more.
Not to me.
Okay.
Black,
Andrew?
black is definitely alluring, is attractive. When my wife wears black, it definitely is a sexual drawing outfit for me, so I definitely enjoy it.
There we see the 2 men with entirely different attitudes on one color. Let's talk about the other 2.
I like black too. I like black color too, and white because white look like a clean too. But I
Do you like
better.
to see a woman dressed in black? Is that
Oh,
seductive
black,
to
black.
you? Is sexy or
Compulsory black.
like black?
Yes.
What about Chris?
I'm gonna go with seductive.
You're gonna go with
Sexy.
seductive. Well, I guess the single man in the crowd doesn't see it as seductive here. We have been reading a lot of different things on what men really want. WebMD has done some questions on it. The Red Book has done some questions on it. Glamour in the last magazine says, what does it take for a man to commit? And can you meet your soulmate online? Most men think they want to marry their soulmate. Would you all agree? And tell me what soulmate means to you.
Well, personally, to me, soulmate means somebody that you're completely, I guess, totally yoked together. You're on the same page, you have the same interests and everything. Of course, there's going to be times where nobody's going to get along all the time. But you got to be friends. I think most of y'all be friends and have that understanding, like you're on the same level. Nobody's above the other person.
Now, do you think you have to marry your soulmate?
I think it's important to marry your soulmate.
So you haven't found yours yet since you've never been married?
Still working on it.
Oh, okay, still working on that soulmate.
That's very important.
And you?
Absolutely. I think that finding a soulmate is possible. I've definitely found mine. I do believe that the fact that...
Did you think you had found it the first time?
I did. But there were signs that were happening before the marriage that manifested in the marriage that let me know that I made the wrong decision.
Yeah.
I do think that there's a certain level of connectivity and compatibility that goes along with being a soulmate. And as a result, that ties into it. Connectivity helps keep your soulmate status as difficulties arise, because you never want to disconnect from the one you truly love. So.
And would you agree that marriage is work, so you have to work on it to keep that connectivity?
Marriage is a 24-hour job that you can actually succeed in if you choose to.
Tell me, do you know what the soulmate means, Louis? Being from Puerto Rico, it means someone who you have chemistry with, it's your friend, and you believe that this is the person that God sent for you.
Yes.
Do you think you have met your soulmate and your wife?
Yes. The more important for me, this is the communication. Is the more important for me, and what I think and what her think too, because to think is about one thing.
Okay, that's good. Mutual thinking, you come together as one, which is what the Bible says.
Sure.
Chris, what about you?
I would say, is what Byron was saying, friends. You know, me and my wife, we joke, we play together, and it makes a great relationship. And we're basically best friends.
Now, can you all argue with your wife? One of the people in the audience said that men always say they want an independent woman. But when it really comes down to the real world, and a woman being, you know, a self-motivator, a self-starter, having her own job, not agreeing with you with everything, which nobody should agree with a person on everything, do you think you really want an independent woman? What if she makes double your salary? Can you live with a woman making more money than you?
Definitely can. I have no problem with a strong woman.
The word independence for a woman is something that every now and then I wrestle with the idea, because if we were to tell the truth, we depend on each other in a relationship. There is no I'm independent from you, or because if that were the case, why be in a relationship?
Well, you don't consider making more money, and she, you know, it used to be back in our grandmother's days that, you know, she didn't work. She made sure that grandpa was fed. She made sure she brought him his food to the table. In fact, I still do some of that because I grew up around my grandmother. I have no big problem with it, and I'm pretty independent, you know.
You see that, even with that example, that shows a certain level of dependence. The man is depending upon the wife for sustenance, food, cooking. The wife is depending upon the man for maybe the income. The roles may have changed, but the mindset has also shifted, whereby you hear more women saying...
Do you share chores with your wife? Do you cook sometimes? Do you take out the trash? Do you do things that...
Cooking is something that my wife does not want me to do.
Can she cook?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, absolutely, no question about it. But as far as the chores, we do share them.
You're pretty bad then. She doesn't want you to. You said you can't cook, right?
Well, as far as the chores are concerned, we do share chores. I have no issue with doing chores. We have dogs. I would take the dog out, although I may not want to do it. There's certain times I do it because that's my wife.
Now, that's in WebMD. It says there are a lot of things that women need to give you a pass on sometimes. That basically what it says is you men are lazy. And you do not like taking the trash out. You do not like even going over to the in-laws' house sometimes. And you want to lay on the couch and watch football or baseball or basketball. That bottom line, you're kind of lazy guys, right? Men are lazy.
I totally agree with that.
Do you agree with that? Pretty much.
I don't agree with that.
Don't agree?
No.
Okay, so 2 agree, 2 don't. So this right here what we're talking about. What do men really want in love and life? Well, that's what WebMD said. Basically, men were lazy. Now, also it said that you're kind of sneaky. When you want to go to the movie, you still want to make out with your wife, girlfriend, your significant other at any age. Is that, you know, you want some adventure in your life. You like playing with kids. And, you know, there's nothing wrong with kissing, I guess, in the back, like you're sneaking out doing something when you're really married, or not married, but have a significant other. Do you all agree with that? You like kind of that adventure?
Of course.
And you still like to play PlayStation. Do you ever grow up?
I'm gonna say probably not.
Probably not.
I still play games.
I've never played, don't play. I've never played.
Most men,
I
it
n-
says,
I
still
never
like
played
playing the games,
PlayStation.
never
My
play.
wife and I both like playing, video games.
Again, diversity. That's again what we're about here. We're showing you, hey, you got to choose the man that fits your needs. Let's see, what else did you all learn in reading about on WebMD? We also learned, though, in Glamour that they're saying that you really can't. It's about half and half that agree that you can find the perfect woman for you online. We've all heard horror stories about online, and we've all heard a few good stories online. So have you all met anyone online prior to being married that it worked for you as far as dating them? Or did you have any horror stories? Did you ever use online, Louis?
It depends what you think. Is it the same country or something like that? You can go see her, or her can go see you. They know, you know, both.
Right. Okay, but online here we're talking about. I have heard of horror stories from men and women where they went to meet the guy, and you got to be an idiot to put a different picture than what you really look like on there. But these women had pictures, they were many pounds heavier and a whole lot of years older. They don't even think it was the right picture, some guys. One guy told me he had to meet him at a certain spot, and when she got there, he told her, well, we're going to have go drinks at this spot, and he went the entirely different direction. But who really thinks that after you see me, my conversation is so wonderful that you're going to want to date me and I don't look like the woman that you wanted to take out?
I think everyone looks better in pictures too. I mean, you know, especially with today's world, they can adjust that.
Photoshop
they can
them.
change that.
Yeah.
They can make themselves look a whole lot more beautiful. Makeup. I mean, all kind of stuff.
Have any of you all used online dating?
I actually went out on an online date once, and it was a horror story. It was similar to the show Crawfish. You know, you hear one scenario, and in real life, it's not what you think that you're going to.
Catfish.
Well, catfish. I'm sorry.
Okay,
Catfish.
okay, all right.
Catfish. One of those creatures.
Oh,
but
she was one of those creatures on one of them.
I'm not calling her a creature.
Yeah.
What I am saying is that what was told to me did match what I saw in real life.
You saw a picture, though, right, of her, and that didn't match.
What she told me she looked like on the phone, based on the online situation, and what I saw in real life did not, in any way, match.
So how did that end? How did that date end?
I drove away fast and didn't answer the phone.
Ever again? She kept calling you for a few days, few weeks?
My roommate at the time was like, man, she's calling you again. I said, don't answer the phone. If you do, I'm running out the door. She can say I'm away from the house.
Have you all seen the movie Fatal Attraction? It might have been one of those. You better, get away from her and change your number. Anything you all would like to suggest? Tell me what your perfect relationship is. And I know you may be afraid to say that because if your wife is listening, yours right now may not be the perfect relationship. Well, Byron, you can answer.
First of all, most guys, the thing about it, be honest. I mean, because if you start line off on the bat, you got to keep that line going. So just tell the truth. If it's meant for you, just who you are. If she don't like who you are, she's not meant for you. So just move on. So I mean, just be honest up front. Just tell like it is. I mean, if she don't like it, so be it. There'll be somebody else that maybe fit perfect for you.
And that should be in anything in life. So we all should be honest in everything because it's going to come out.
And I've been
anyway.
on to tell like it is. So just tell like it is.
Sounds like, Byron, you're pretty vehement about this. You've had some women that don't tell it like it is.
I've had a few people lie just a little bit.
Lie a little bit. And you have some that lie a lot.
A lot, yeah.
A lot, okay.
But I mean,
does it take long to find out that they're liars?
Not at all. You got to actually listen. I mean, most guys don't listen. We all know that.
Yeah.
You got to actually. You probably got the signs there, but you're kind of ignoring it. So just listen and just use your head most of the time.
Will you think you'll use your head better now than you did in the past since you seem to have had these relationships a few?
Well, it's been a long time, but I've actually done better now. So actually, before I just kind of like a typical guy, just kind of what you want to hear, what you
Visual,
think.
and you saw what you saw. She was
Right.
nice looking, so
say,
you
well, I
want.
can get past that. But you older you grow up, you become more mature. So.
Okay.
You do better. You know better, you do better.
I'm not going to ask you married guys to answer this question. There was also something in the WebMD that talked about you like for your woman, your wife, to go to the spa because she comes back and her skin is soft. And you also like for her to go out with her girlfriends. How many of you all are too jealous for your wife to go out on dates with her girlfriends? Do you all, no problem or problems?
No.
You're saying that, but how many of you all's wives go out with their girlfriends? Does your wife ever go out with her friends?
Oh, yeah.
Her girlfriends? No problem.
No.
Okay. Chris?
I don't think she does it enough. You know, I would encourage her to do it more.
Yeah, they
I
say
think-
they like for you all like for the,
yeah.
us women
Yeah.
to go out and, you know, have a few drinks because when we're happy, we make you happier
Happy
when we
wife,
come
happy
home,
life.
right?
Right.
So you all would prefer them to go
Yeah.
out more if they don't go out.
Yeah, my wife actually a few months ago we took a trip over to Florida with some of her girlfriends, and I was supportive of it. My wife in a position to where with her friends, she's the one that they gravitate to, and I think that that's actually healthy. So have fun.
And a lot of men aren't that way. I hear stories of women who've been with men who are very possessive. And of course, there's a problem right there if your man is very possessive. So if you would have to give anybody any advice on love and life as a man, what would you say, Chris?
I would say is
To us women, too, because we need to know this. Maybe I wouldn't have had a second divorce if I'd had this panel before this.
I think that one of the best attributes there would be, you know, spend time with your friends too. Allow you two to separate and have your good times away from each other. I think for me, you know, if I spend time with my brother, my friends, or just some me time, you know,
Right.
I think it makes it way more healthier.
I definitely agree. Everybody needs me
100%.
time.
And look, if she goes to the spa or has some time with her friends and comes back, she
Will
looks
you
like
take
she's
care of the
just as
kids while
happy
she's
too.
gone?
Absolutely. You know, 100%.
I
think
know
that's
you have
real
no
healthy.
children, Louis, yet,
No,
so yeah.
no, yeah.
I think it's real healthy.
And your children don't stay with you.
Correct.
So Ashif and you are both free to go, and you
Correct.
have no problem, and she has no problem. That's an excellent relationship right there, that everybody agrees. And Byron, if you have a significant other, how do you feel
Routine.
about her going away?
I think so, like a routine. You need to change a
Yeah.
routine every time, like every month, like a different stuff or something.
Do you have date nights? The guys that are married, do you do date nights?
Whenever we had the chance to, because I'm offshore,
Right.
but we do.
To me, that makes it a whole lot better because it's almost like a date night a week when you come back. You're gone 2 weeks and
Correct.
back 2 weeks, right?
Correct.
So it makes the heart grow fonder a little bit because you know somebody's coming right back in 2
Right.
weeks. So to me, that's a good way to keep romance and keep the fire going in the relationship. So what would you say, Louis, to women out there in picking a man, and how did you decide that this Jay was the right person for you?
I tell you, like I changed the routine. She talked to me every time, like.
Wasn't she your boss?
She's my boss too. She's my boss. She's my wife. She good.
So you have no problem with an independent
Yeah, I don't
woman
have a
because
problem with her because
you know
I talk
Michelle
to
was
her every
President
time.
Obama's wife at one time, boss at one time.
Yeah. I talk to her. That's more important. Talk in relationship and change the routine. Say love you every time, something like that.
So you often
Like-
tell each other you love each other.
Yeah, sure.
Over here,
What exactly was the question again?
what would be your advice to women and men out there about
Gotcha.
keeping a relationship active and
One of the things that I would suggest is that we all give love and receive love individually. There was a book written about the 5 love languages. I think that it's important to learn your partner's love language and speak to that love language quite often.
tell us a little bit more about the 5 love languages.
Well, according to what Dr. Gary Chapman authored, there's the love language of words of affirmation. If someone wants to receive love that way, they're always looking for words, thoughts, text, whatever. There's also gift giving, touch, quality time, and I can't quite remember the 5th one. But there's the point of it is that everyone receives and gives love differently. So I know my wife's love language, and I can speak to that. She will always feel like she's receiving love from me, and that goes for any relationship. Just because someone
You know, women basically are insecure when it comes to looks and things. No matter what
Right.
you look like,
Right.
Holly Berry, I'm sure, gets insecure about what she looks.
Right.
We're always trying to make ourselves look better.
Okay, so in that situation, let's just say that a woman's love language is gifts. She loves to receive gifts. But if the man is always using words to express that to her, he's saying, well, I love my wife, I always tell her, I always say these things to her, but she's still feeling incomplete because she's not receiving what she needs to receive. So she feels, well, you don't love me. Well, yes, I do, I told you, but that's not what she really needed at that
Because
point.
to her, it's actions, and actions speak
Precisely.
louder than words, and he should know
For her
she likes
case.
gifts.
Correct.
And you, Byron, what would you suggest to other men out there?
I always say, the way you started, you got to keep it up. Never take them for granted. That's what I suggest.
Well, if you start wrong, it won't be long anyway, right?
Right, just how you took to get that person, you got to keep it.
Right. I think that today we've given you food for thought for you women out there and for you men out there. So let's all keep on trying to find and build. Remember, a good relationship is hard work, and we're going to have to work hard if you want a good relationship. So I think we've showed you what men really want in a relationship, in love, and in life. Thank you very much for joining us today. Goodbye.
Stay tuned. Dianne Andrews in Black and White. We'll be right back.
I just bought my family a big old show truck.
He bought a big ugly truck.
It's got a quad cab, it's got a Hemi engine,
At least the dealer financed us through eFederal Credit Union.
it's got 390 horses, 407 foot-pounds of torque. It could pull my boat, it can pull my Mardi Gras float.
And with this low-rate credit card, I got to have a little fun myself.
It's got it all.
eFederal has it all.
Who knew?
Thank you. I think we learned a lot, me being female myself. As I said, if I learned some of this several years ago, I might have changed my marriage. But hopefully it can help a lot of us proceed better in relationships, and especially in dealing with Bert Faulk, who told us about PSAs. A lot of times women have to urge their husbands or their men to do what they want them to do. So let's make sure we all get tested and take a PSA, the blood test, for prostate cancer. When I was a little girl, just a few years ago, and I would see on TV a show every Sunday morning that said, if everyone lit just one little candle, what a bright world this would be. And that's how I've always tried to live my life. And I challenge everyone else out there to just light a candle and shine a light, to go out and volunteer, to go out and do things in the community to help. Because the more you give, the more you receive. And there's great joy in helping other people. The most of anything you can give is not money. That's not what's always needed. Remember, between every issue in black and in white, there are always shades of gray. Thank you.